Here at Cerebral Artworks, we have a brand new toy. Now, I am not a woodworker, my wife is not a woodworker, but as you've probably seen, she does a lot of work on MDF, paint pouring and different kinds of mediums. And we've been buying a lot of different shapes, animals, whatnot. Well, I finally convinced her that we need one of these. A 3-axis CNC machine. And let me tell you, this thing has been incredible. We've had it for about a month. And you're probably going to be seeing a lot more videos using this because I think it's just really an incredible tool. So let me just kind of walk you through. I'm not going to do a real up-close thing, but let me just give you an overview of how our machine works. Now, obviously, it's in our garage. We don't have a lot of room anywhere else for it. And before I got it, I was really nervous about the dust. I do have another YouTube channel that I've been doing for years. It actually films right over to the right of where this is. And as a result, I was worried I was going to be getting a lot of dust and stuff over on the other side of the garage. The truth is, there's almost zero dust. We have it hooked up. You can see if you look over here, let me just do this real quick. If you look over here, we have a vacuum system. It's still pretty crude, but I have it where we can plug right into the socket boot, and then I have one of my professional camera stands doubling as a cord holder, and then over here I've got my 20-gallon Craftsman shop vac. I have a giant one of the Craftsman dust bags inside, and that has been adequate for now. But any day, I actually have a Dust Deputy cyclone filter that we're going to be installing for that because the bags they work okay, but they fill up pretty quickly. And I need something a little bit easier. Like I said, we've had this about a month. We did go out and we purchased, this was just from like a thrift shop, just a rolling cart. It's been nice to keep some supplies on. I don't have the best wood management system right now. We just have stacks of MDF down there. I buy 4x8 sheets. I have them cut it into 24-inch squares because that works great for us and storage is easy. I have a couple of bad pieces that are on the bottom just to keep it off the concrete, but I probably need to build something that's a little better for elevation. I have things like my probe just stuck with a magnet over on the left side. I've got a couple of the spindle wrenches on magnets over on this side. And then the coolest thing is my monitor. Now, the ONEFINITY system does come with a 10-inch monitor. And I can turn this on. It'll show you here. But what I did is I opted not to get the ONEFINITY screen because it's only a 10-inch monitor and it mounts to a plate over on the actual machine here. So what I did, let me get this out of the way, is I went ahead and bought off Amazon. In fact, I'll put a link in the description below. But I went and bought just a tabletop computer stand. It has a 90-degree bracket that just mounted right into, I drilled a couple holes that mounted right into where their mount would hit on the Y-axis rail here. And then I have just a swivel mount that's part of it. And it just has a grabbing side panel to it, so it just friction holds it in place. But this has been fantastic, and I'm telling you, like, using this machine with a big monitor really has made life easy, especially because I have the ONEFINITY stand under here, and this is their fold-up unit. I haven't folded it up yet, but it's nice to know I could. But I'm not a woodworker. I can't build a really, awesome, stable platform for this. So the fact that ONEFINITY has something that fits the needs is amazing. All I had to do was throw in this 3/4 MDF, which took me all of half an hour, and I could do with the tools I had at home. Now in the future, I can cut pieces on my CNC for my CNC, but in the beginning, I just had to use a circular saw, and they're not the prettiest, but they fit and they just mount from underneath. I went for the undermount. Because I have it down. Underneath is where my controller is, my big box, and And so I can't access the emergency button very well. So I do rely on this button quite a bit, just as I'm still getting used to this. And something else, because I have underneath the controller, if I want to plug in my USB stick to put programs in, it gets to be a pain in the butt. So what I did is I went and just got a USB extension cable, and it just plugs into the back, and this just hangs here. So I just plug in my G code right here, and then I'm good to go. So overall, it's been a pretty great experience. I've cut out maybe 30 or 40 things. For program, I am using, I'll show you guys, I can't remember what it's called, to be honest, but it's not Fusion 360. I tried Fusion 360. That's just beyond my capabilities. I'm using a simpler program. It's actually the one that's offered by the ONEFINITY competitor, Shopico or Shopiaco, or however you pronounce it. Anyway, they offer it free even if you don't buy their machines, which I think is pretty cool. And it's a really great program, especially for doing just basic two-dimensional or basic three-dimensional stuff, which is really all I need to do. You know, I'll show you real quick. This was some scrap that we had, and I tested with, and you can see we've done stuff like heart and gecko and a dinosaur and a chicken and a Bigfoot down here. I've done a bunch of coasters. I've done just some giant circles and some giant squares and some Oregons and, you know, different things like that. So that's been really good. But I'm excited to show you guys as we work with this. It is not an easy thing to get started with when you have no experience. I don't have experience working with CNC machines. I don't have experience with the CNC software. Luckily, the program I'm using slices and creates the G code for you, so I don't need a separate slicer program. But this is all new to me. I'm hoping as a beginner I can help other people out there, and it might be fun for you guys to see. For what it's worth, yes, I've crashed this thing probably half a dozen times. I've already had to replace a couple parts on the socket boot. Luckily, I ordered the Pro version, which comes with some replacements to start, and I'm now doing pretty well with it. So there's our first video with the ONEFINITY. It is an awesome machine, worth every penny. It will not take long for me to return our investment on this. And appreciate you guys watching. A lot more to come. You guys have a good one. We'll talk later.